And we are live. Good morning, good morning, good morning from this side of the Pacific. You're joining us for the Christian Anime Podcast, episode 2, titled Schizophrenic People. Because we're going to look at a few schizophrenic people today, that's for sure. I hope you're all doing well. It is starting to get incredibly hot here in Australia, unfortunately. But yeah, oh yeah, for those of you who aren't aware, Australian folks, it's summer here. It's summer here in December. I know it's winter in the old Americas, so yeah. Oh my goodness. I hope I didn't just kill all of your ears. Welcome to the yawning and welcome to Compound Fracture. Good morning from here. Good evening to our American friends as well. Yeah, we're chilling. It isn't too cold yet. I would have thought. Well, it's early December, so I'm not. I'm assuming then it gets way colder in January. That's that's just an assumption. But yeah, all throughout this week, it's an alleged 30 degrees. I say alleged because the reason why I say it's alleged is because usually I don't really trust the forecast. Cap. Oh boy, I'm gonna have to wait. Give me a Perth weather. I should search up. Give me a second. For those of you who follow yeah, it's a top of 35 here today. We've already had snow here in the Midwest US, I should say. Hey, that's cool. That's cool stuff. Just a reminder for all of you guys. Welcome, Silly Salami Slapper. You may have seen my post on this already, my community post on this, but it's very important to me, so I suggest you pay attention. So, which is this? It's this community post. I made this meme. Very cool meme. It's like, say my name. It's podcast son. All right. I'm I want to make it very clear to everyone. I know for this whole year, I like for a whole 2 years, I was like, oh, you can call me pod son, or you can call me like Cap or whatever, right? Say podcast son. Like, say my name properly, right? It's you're damn right it is. All right. No. Say my name. Chat. Say my name. Come on. You can do it. You can do it, chat. You're no. It's not Cap. Say my name. That's not my name. Say my name. Come on. You can do this, chat. You can do this, chat. It's very easy to write out podcast hyphen son, not Bakugan. I'm that you're gonna that actually deserves a full on 30 day ban actually for you mentioning Bakugan. If I hear one more Bakugan, I'm gonna be incredibly miffed. Oh my goodness. Come on, chat. You got this. Say my name. Just say podcast son, and we'll get straight into our podcast for the rest of today. Give me a second. I'm just gonna advertise this on the Discord just in case people don't know what a meme Bakugan has. Pokemon son. Okay. I give podcast son. Yeah, it's not pod son. It's podcast son. And I've just realized chat isn't working. Do you want to refresh? That's unfortunate. I don't know what it is. It might just be because it's Monday. Chat doesn't work. Oh, that's terrible. It's terrible. Because it worked perfectly fine the other day. Oh my goodness. I love working with stream elements. I'm gonna have to see what's wrong with that. Anyway, so let's get to topic of today, right? Schizophrenic people. We're focusing on a whole bunch of schizophrenic people today. There's mainly because I really challenged myself actually to try to get this video out as soon as possible so I could talk about it, so we could watch it together on stream, because I've been saying this a lot. on stream that I've recently finished Serial Experiments Lane. And I made a video on it. A not really good performing video. So if you haven't watched it yet, go watch it. But the title of the video is Schizophrenia, Lane, and God. The reason why I've named it Schizophrenia, this is just some of the explanation for it. Like actually schizophrenic people, or just people who are crazy wacko. So I mean schizophrenia in a postmodern sense, but we're also going to look at some crazy wacky people as well, because this isn't a very good postmodern definition of it. That schizophrenia refers to, or cultural schizophrenia, or whatever postmodernists want to call it, it refers to a state in the culture, in the mind of the culture, where people can't quite tell what is real and what is not. That's basically it. So the postmodern diagnosis of society is that we can't tell the difference between media, like what's being presented in media, and what's being presented in reality. And that's way more true in the period that we're living in the internet. Like, we're living in this mass media environment. We're living in an internet environment where we can't actually tell what's real or what's not, because the stuff that we're consuming, we're just taking it as real. We're not taking it as, oh, this is something that I read online, or this is something that I read in a book, or this is something that I'm learning. It's just, you're just taking it as if it was real. So for example, the Oppenheimer, right? Oppenheimer is a good example, because it's like, when you're watching Oppenheimer, you're not treating it as this is a historical movie, this is just a film, this is a piece of fiction. You're treating it as, this is this is close to a documentary, right? So that's what schizophrenia refers to in the postmodern sense. And I kind of agree with some parts of it, because I explain it in this video where we actually can't tell. Sometimes we can't tell. But while the postmodernists would say, oh, that means we should just decide that nothing is true, and there's no real, you can't really determine what is true, and we can't really determine what is real. I take it from a more Christian perspective, which we would say, yes, because we can't really tell what is real or what is not, we're just going to treat it as real anyway. So, or we should have the self-awareness that when we are watching media, it's not actually real. It is a piece of fiction, even if it is like a historical documentary, or even if it's like a history movie like Oppenheimer or Chernobyl. We should have the self-awareness that when we are watching this sort of stuff, we should be aware that it is a work of fiction, but we can take elements of it. Like, we should just embrace the fact that it can be real to us as well. So it's difficult to explain because it's postmodernism and stuff like that. Anyway, let's review this video. I'm really happy with it. I'm really happy with some of the stuff that I said. There's a bit in the middle where I haven't really explained metamodernism enough. If you want to watch that, we can. You go search what metamodernism is, because I'm not too fussed today. So let's review this bit by bit. I'm really happy with it. I'm really proud of the thing that we've done here. I'm just gonna double check that the audio is correct. Yep. Yes, it's all there. Let's go. Today we're looking at Serial Experiments Lane, because this anime is schizophrenic in every sense of the word. Lane is an anime about a girl who suddenly gets into computers, and then wacky stuff happens to her. She doesn't quite know the difference between reality and her own imagination. Lines are blurred between the digital and the real, hence schizophrenia. Though this anime also provides a good sense of where our society is at, and I think it's good as Christians to be able to watch media like this, not necessarily accepting the philosophy which is propagated by such media, and then we think about it and talk about it and discuss how it fits into our walk with Christ. Which, all right, we'll pause it there, because this is kind of this is part of my thinking, or what my noggin was thinking. So I did watch it. I did have a sense of what it was trying to say, but genuinely there were a lot, when you read a lot of the reviews for this, there's insane people. and I really don't want to be as mean. I don't want to be mean when I say this, but when people write about this, it's like, Introduction. I find myself typing this review thinking more about the conceptualization of existence than the anime itself. There's another one. There's another good one. Usually one can divide good anime into two groups. There's the one that entertain you through your emotions, scooping you up in the adrenaline rushing fights, riveting your feelings with heartbreaking drama, or simply tingling your adventurous sides. And then there's the ones that make you sit down and think, ponder about deeper philosophical dilemmas and questions such as those of existence, origin, connection. Serial Experiments Lane is among the few that fall into that latter category. So there's a few others. There's a few other insane ones that I wanted to read, but that's basically the gist of some of the reviews and some of the video reviews that I've watched of this, which is people are talking about existence, people are talking about like what is this anime really made me think about what's real and what's not, which is, yeah, it's hence schizophrenia, because you can't tell what's real or what's not in the postmodern sense. However, what's the Christian to do about this? This is what I try to extrapolate in the video. And yeah, we'll continue. Which is exactly what I'm going to do in this video. Just reading through some of the reviews on my anime list, there's a ton of people singing its praises and touting how it was absolutely life-changing upon watching, though there's also all the other negative reviews quickly summarized by a simple I don't guess it. And this was actually really funny to watch some of those, read some of those negative reviews, because they were like, oh my goodness, this is like my favorite one was that top one, which is like, pretentious, according to the Google Dictionary, is attempting to impress by affecting greater importance, talent, culture, etc. than is actually possessed. Honestly, that definition very simply describes the anime Serial Experiments Lane. So anyway, and this is literally all of the not recommended reviews, which is saying I don't get it. It's like, and that's okay. That's okay if you don't get it. But that's why I like it. I like it because it keeps you on your toes. It's not fast paced. There's really slow moments on it, and it's those slow moments at the start picking up in the middle, and then it goes on to a climax at the end. And yeah, it's pretty normal. It's a pretty the story itself is average. The story itself is nothing surprising, and it's pretty simple as well. But at the same time, I still like it because of it makes you think. Like the ideas are there, and it really gets your noggin thinking. So by a simple I don't guess it. And that's okay, this anime is not for everyone, and it is insane that the ideas promoted by this show through its mini lectures, which happen throughout, make way more sense than the actual plot of the show, but I still want to talk about it nonetheless, because as I said at the start, this anime is schizophrenic, and it is a reflection of the society we live in, which is itself schizophrenic. And it is for that reason that while I disagree with some of its conclusions, I still think Serial Experiments Lane is a beautiful anime. Spoiler. Right, so, just spoiler warning as well, as I'm about to say in the video, but essentially, the conclusion that most people will come to is basically, you can only trust yourself, and you can only trust your own existence of reality. So this is this is generally a very, very dangerous philosophy that is propagated, which is like, oh, you can only trust your own existence. You can't trust anyone else's existence. The only existence and only experience that you can trust is yours and yours alone. And that is propagated throughout the show. Like we view the show is viewed through the lens of Lane, the main character, who can't quite tell, like, her experience becomes our experience, right? And that's why it's just so wacky, and it jumps all over the place, because Lane is simply a very deeply, deeply troubled girl, in that sense. So yeah, I really should have added chapters to this so that I wouldn't jump around. I do want to jump to a more significant part. There's a bit where I talk about South Korea, which is fine. Why don't we zoom ahead to where we talk about God?
Is it? It's here somewhere. Maybe it's here. I think it's around here where I talk about God. Because God is still with us. Which is a good transition into the next section of the video. This was one of the annoying parts of the show, right? Which is there's a being called God, basically. It's God lowercase g. So there is a God in the internet. And he's weird, and he's not really God. It's a conception of God, and when you watch different reviews of this show, some people interpret this as a very, very atheist show, right? Because it talks about like, oh hey, God's actually not real because he's not omnipotent because he can't actually get a body, and he can't like blah blah blah. It's a terrible example, which is why then the conclusion of the show means because there isn't a higher God to control you, that means you become God, which is a terrible conclusion to come to, and that's the conclusion that some atheists, some of our atheist friends, I would say, would come to. But I think for the Christian, when we watch this show, and we simply base it on this is an anime about a girl who becomes God because she's schizophrenic. This is an anime about a girl who tries to become God because she's schizophrenic. Then we see through her actions that because she's acting like God, she becomes a very not nice person very, very quickly. And that's actually something that we would agree with as Christians. So that's the crux of my interpretation of this show. And near the end as well, even I think us as Christians, we shouldn't be too scared about like not being able to differentiate between what reality is and what reality is not, because ultimately we as Christians we have Christ with us. Christ is here. The Holy Spirit is living within us. That means we are able to determine what is real and what is not. So there you go. That's kind of my conclusions for it. So go do watch it. I'm just gonna double check if okay, good. The thing is there. So go do watch it, please. It's underperforming, so I wish it was performing better. And I really enjoy the anime as well. So I hope you would, if you do want to watch it as well, feel free to. It's all there. Okay, cool. I'm just gonna take a water break. My bad. Oh my goodness. It is getting very, very, very warm very quickly. So, let's look at some insane people now. Because I mentioned South Korea in this, let's start with South Korea. We're looking at more insane people, all right, or more schizophrenic people. The original title of this video was insane people, so we're looking at some more schizophrenic people. Welcome, Operator Jax. Oh, it's your alt account. That's great. So if you are following this was insane to me. This guy, Yoon Suk-yeol, declared martial law. Here's the TLDR. At midnight a few days ago, Yoon Suk-yeol was like, oh, hey, we're going to declare martial law. And it's Operator Jack's proper account. Oh, my goodness. And it was mainly because, so this is how Korea's political system works. So during an election, parliament and the president are elected. After 3 or 4 years, I can't quite remember, there's a midterm election. In that midterm election, Yoon Suk-yeol's party, the People Power Party, lost a whole bunch of seats to the Democratic Party. So the People Power Party is the conservative party. The Democratic Party is the left-wing party in Korea. As a result, that means for the next 3 years, Yoon Suk-yeol can only make decisions on like foreign policy issues. So he can't actually make any policies on. I'm pretty sure it's on. He still has power on defense, but it's more monetary policy, fiscal policy,
you know, taxation, economic policy, school policy, all of those sorts of things, Yoon Suk Yeol doesn't actually have any power over, because he lost the majority in parliament. So he's what's called a sitting duck president. As a result of that, I think this is the reason why he wanted to declare martial law. Anyway, so according to, this is our main source for Korean news, main English source for Korean news. And he was saying, this guy said Yoon had declared martial law even when majority of state council had been against it. So his cabinet actually tried to save him, but he went in and killed himself anyway. So then comes this. I was actually awake when this happened. So it was midnight here in Australia. So it was like 12 p.m. So it was noon in America and maybe early morning in Europe. So the reason why the president did declare martial law at like midnight was like he had assumed that no one would meet at midnight, but people were still awake as he was declaring martial law. Parliament convened, and literally everyone voted against it. So including his own People Power Party, all 190 Congress people. I don't think they're called Congress people, but we'll refer to them as Congress people. Voted to lift martial law. So even his own party went against him. Now, after that, there was this really funny moment. It would have been really funny if the military just stormed in and just arrested everyone because under martial law, all political activities are banned, basically. So there was a good chance for something really, really funny to happen, and for all of Parliament to be arrested and things like that. So oh my goodness, so annoying that it didn't happen. So, after recording an all-time low on his approval rating, President Yoon decided to tackle the issue directly by addressing the nation today. This didn't go very well, and now he is under heavy criticism from the opposition, some even calling for impeachment. And I think he just survived his impeachment, actually. So, his own party did back him. So, the opposition parties voted to impeach him, but the People Power Party decided to support him. So, yeah, there you go. He survived, but this is why we're including him. He's a schizophrenic person, right? He absolutely thought he could survive, but he did not. It's a big womp womp in that section. But I do want to cover this. While I was trying to find news for South Korea martial law, massive problem on YouTube that I want to cover, which is when you search South Korea martial law or Yoon Suk Yeol martial law, just look at some of these videos and we're like, oh, that's cool. There are all these videos. But what do you notice about all of these videos? They are all from verified news channels. I don't know why Daily Show's on here either. So this is like TLDR News is the only like independent I can see here. But as you can see here, it's all ABC News Australia, it's DW, it's 9 News Australia. I'm assuming because I'm in Australia, I'm getting more of that news. There's SBS News, there's BBC News, NBC, and there's no like independent videos on them. There's Vice, there's CNN, there's The Project, which is Australian news again. Here we go. This is the first one. This is the first independent actual YouTube channel on here. CBC, Asia Society, Al Jazeera. I'm still scrolling and I'm not seeing any like independent. So this is a massive problem, right? For YouTube. I just want to compare this to Twitter in terms of what shows up. South Korea martial law. It is a little better on Twitter, but Twitter still faces the same. Okay, no, it is a little better. So it's better on Twitter because at least look, this guy's not a blue check. So there, I do see a bunch of blue checks here, but look, we get memes, right? There's memes, there's populism updates, no blue check on there, no blue check. No, there's no blue check, no blue check. So this is just comparing what comes up when you search South Korea martial law on Twitter and what comes up when you search South Korea martial law on YouTube. Insane. Look up Muujin on YouTube. Yeah, that's the thing. So if you search up Muujin, Muujin South Korea, because I was trying to find his martial law video. So even when you, I want to, can I bring this up a little? Can we move you? Okay. No, never mind. Okay, sorry, I can't find you. So this is what shows up when you specifically search for Muujin, South Korea martial law, and you don't it doesn't show up even when I because I was desperately trying to find it. So it's only when I search up Muujin that it did show up there, but I'm aware of his video, right, on the South Korea situation. You can see that 1.7 million views, and that doesn't even show up when you search up South Korea, even South Korea. I think it should show. Okay, good. It does show up when you put up South Korea. Does it show up when you do Muujin martial law? No, it doesn't show up when you do Muujin martial law. When I search up martial law here, yeah. This is, again, it's like, this is really annoying, right? It's so annoying. It's so stupid. YouTube is incredibly stupid in terms of like just, it privileges mainstream media, and it doesn't, and that, I would have thought the whole point of YouTube is that it privileges actual creators that actually do stuff on it. And it's stupid. It's stupid stuff. So anyway, there we go. That's the South Korea situation. I just wanted to cover it because it was really funny. And on that point of nothing ever happens, bros, just so you know, nothing ever happens, bros. You guys have lost because Assad was taken. Oh, that's another thing, right? It's ranting time. It's ranting time about Syria. So I wanted to search up who is Bashar al-Assad, because I'm sure, or Syria Explained. Yeah, okay, cool. So when you do like Syria Explained, like there's just, okay, at least there's some independent news here. But again, it's like overrepresentation of mainstream media, which is stupid. Absolutely stupid. I cannot believe it. I cannot I cannot comprehend it. So yeah. Anyway. All right. I had Mr. Fuentes on the cover of this because I want to show this. We're gonna cover this now. Because it's talking about marriage. I don't want to watch this clip, but that's the oh my goodness, my brain just turned off. I just had a brain fart there. So the summary is, Nick Fuentes says your testosterone falls off a cliff when you get married, and explains why. Nick also says men should pursue marriage responsibility and can't show weakness to their wives. Just bear with me, chat. I need to blow my nose. We're just going to disappear. All right, I hath returned. All right, cool. Insane person. That's an insane take. So someone, it's this, isn't it? Why is it so small? Oh, that's odd. Maybe it's because it's this. So this is the worst take on X this week. Congrats, Nick J. Fuentes. Some guy with no testosterone telling young men to fear marriage because they'll lose testosterone would be quite funny to me. But I see many like him with big platforms. You know, what a base guy, right? He's a guy. He looks pretty cool. What a base guy. Like this is absolutely amazing. Okay, so what does Mr. Fuentes post in the book? And he says, beyond parody. And the main reason why is because it's white family, black kid. Adopts 2 black kids. I wonder whose idea that was. The reason it's really troubling to see this sort of stuff here. I'll just go through some of the comments. So Luigi, Orthodox guy, kind of cool. Like he's okay. He's okay because he's anti-groper, but he's not okay because he's way too pro-Orthodox. This is why, like, I've said this many a time, right? Which is like, if I had to choose between Catholicism and Orthodoxy, it would be Catholicism. So like, he's a cool guy, Orthodox Luigi, but I don't support him all the way, right? And that I don't have to support him all the way, right? It's okay to not support him. If I could summarize the unreconcilable divide between Red Pill and Christianity in one screenshot, it's this one. Tyler has in the image the children he fosters. Nick, who claims to be a Christian, is clowning on him for checks notes, being charitable, obeying Psalm 68 verse 5, all because one of the foster children happens to be black. Yeah, orthobros can be bullies sometimes. So he's got good takes sometimes. He's got bad takes sometimes. We're just gonna leave it there. All right. So what's some of the comments here? Some of the gropers are saying miscegenation is a sin. You are a fake Christian. Nick's right on this one. There are thousands upon thousands of white babies that need adoption, and for some reason he chose a black one. Why? Would they blacks care about our children? Of course not. Then why are we supposed to take care of theirs? Why not adopt white children so they can look like their parents and live normal lives? Obvious virtue signaling, and a gross decadent expression of a dying race. And it's just, I don't understand. It's like, is it a bad? I think this is schizophrenia. This is absolute schizophrenia, right? I cannot comprehend. I think genuinely gropers cannot comprehend compassion and cannot comprehend, because in my view, right, I think it's unfortunate that there are children that need to be adopted, right? There are it's unfortunate that we live in a society where children are abandoned and they do need foster homes, right? And I think ultimately, like, the ultimate long-term solution, right, is that we create enough wealth in society that there isn't poverty, and that all parents are able to take care of their kids, right? That's the ultimate W, right? That's the ultimate ideal that we're looking for. But when I see gropers like this, right, which are like, is it? I generally think that they just don't have a view of family. They really don't. They really don't have family values. And their whole idea, like, for Nick to talk about this in terms of like, there's some really shocking stuff that he talks about, like, let's see if I can find it. Wait, does he have? No, he doesn't. He did have an Al-Assad take. There's a few ones. Oh, here. Okay. Why don't we just cover this? Reminds me of this Redeem Zoomer made about the duality of Christianity, mercy versus justice. Yeah, I need context. I'm a bit lost. Sorry. Which context do you need, silly salami slapper? Just be specific there, please. However, gropers don't seem to believe in true justice, but just cruel retribution. Sorry, the context is like he's just clowning on a guy for having adopted a black baby. That's it. And gropers, there's this meme that there's this caricature, I should say. There's this caricature in the mind of gropers that if you get married, your wife is definitely going to cheat on you, and marriage is actually not that great. So that's kind of the caricature that gropers have in their mind, that, oh hey, your wife's actually just going to cheat on you, and that's why I'm not going to get married. Yeah. Let's see what Mr. Tate has to say on this. Real men simply do not tolerate female I want to be married. Ignore the BS and create offspring with compliant females who can't access your body. And I think, like, he's implying, I reckon he's implying here, compliant females as in create a harem. You should engage in polygamy. I don't like, yes, like Andrew Tate, guys. You give me kids and be nice and be rich, or you annoy me and be poor. The kids will survive somehow. I don't send you money. Done. It's my world. Live in it or walk. Enough females want my world, so you can walk if you want. Your place will be filled in 15 seconds. I will be perfectly fine. And as for seeing the kids and raising them, praying for house and school and their mother's nice car and seeing the kids 3 times a week. Well, okay, I'm not gonna read all of this, right? But again, it's that caricature in the minds of people who, like, because I get it, right? I get that some people really are genuinely scarred by the fact that they got married and their wife abandoned them, right? And I have met people who have that hurt, right? But the solution isn't then to say, let's hate all women. The solution is to find actual, like, I made a video on this, like, literally, I literally made a video on this, like, the waifu of noble character. The solution is then to find a waifu of noble character. That's ultimately it. If you haven't watched this video yet, guys, go do it. It's my gemmiest video ever. I'm really proud of it. So the solution isn't to just say, oh, all women bad. The solution is to find a waifu of noble character and just be way more discerning in terms of what women you're looking for. It's insanely blackpilling. I'm surprised they don't see that self-defeating mentality as something Satan might have implemented. Yeah, through bad experience they must have faced. Andrew Tate is such a sociopath. Yeah, love this vid. Oh, thank you. I really enjoyed making it, and the thumbnail, gem thumbnail, genuinely it's the best thumbnail that I've created so far. So yeah, I don't know. When we're talking about family, like I was discussing this with another incel guy who was talking about, like, because generally at my church, all of the girls I know my age who go to or all of the women my age, I should say, because they're all like 20, 21. I'm pretty sure they're virgins. Well, I shouldn't say I'm pretty sure. They are definitely virgins. Most of the women who attend my church, who have grown up in the church, are basically that. So I get that the experience of some people, maybe in America and maybe here in Australia as well, is that women are all over the place. Women are insane and they haven't closed their legs and whatever, right? But in my experience anyway, for most of the people who I've met, they have not had sex before marriage. So I think it's, yeah, blackpilling is not the way. Like, and yeah, that's it. It's no different from feminists who literally destroyed themselves. They're sterilizing themselves as we speak from encountering a man of bad character. Yeah, that's so true. That's so true. So so I think that's it. Here's another one. I wanted to cover this as well. My parents adopted later in life. They always wanted more children and had more love to give. They adopted 2 African American boys that I'm proud to call my brothers. And that's really good. That's really, really cute. Okay? That's cool stuff. What's some so God bless your family. That's really wholesome. Godspeed to the Alcorns. You are all the best. Virtue status signal. Here's some of the Grover stuff. Actually, no, this is all pretty wholesome. This is all pretty wholesome. I was trying to find like really bad stuff, but I guess this is all wholesome stuff. Hey, look, so good. There are good people in the world. There are actual real Catholics, not just gropers. Is there anything else here? I swear I saw something. Here we go. This is the caricature I'm referring to, by the way. So it's like, yeah, that's. What's this? Your personal sentimentalities and emotional attachment to these living designer handbags. Because that's what they are, should not be generalized, and your opinion on your people and slash or on marriage should be taken less seriously because of it. It's, oh my goodness. How are they your brothers? Sorry, I have to read this one as well. How are they your brothers when the average white stranger on the street is 100 times more genetically similar to you than they are? Do you like being publicly humiliated or something? No wonder you can't be normal. And it's an anime. Oh, that's terrible representation. Oh no. Yeah. Yeah. You mean they adopted two Africans, nothing American about them? Yeah, that's terrible. That's absolutely terrible. All right. Yep, +1 to Moe. Wholesome Twitter doesn't exist. Okay, yeah, we shouldn't have scrolled down that far. that's absolutely terrible. All right, cool. So there you go. More schizophrenic people, but that's coming back to our definition of schizophrenia, right? The postmodern definition of schizophrenia, which talks about people online cannot determine the difference between what is online and what is real, the online world and the real world. And I think groypers are the perfect example of that. Us as conservative folks, we need to be so self-conscious of that as well. The real world is totally different from the online world. People on the real world, they watch the news about Donald Trump. Yeah, cool. Donald Trump won the election. Do they live in the online world where it's like, oh, Donald Trump is a martyr? Do they live in an online world where, oh, Donald Trump is the worst guy ever? No, like they don't live in the online world. So I think when we talk to real life people about real life things, we should be on their level, that we should be on their experience that they are actually experiencing, which is the real world. So yeah, damn, these people have like no love or something, no compassion. Yeah, it's basically it. It's unchristian. Like, I have to say it. It's funny, but I honestly can't see myself believing what groypers think on a daily basis. I think because Broken Clock is right two times a day. So there are genuine truths that Mr. Francis does say. Like there is an obsession over Israel, right? Which is like that's one of the things that I do criticize, and that's okay to criticize. It's an okay criticism. There's this obsession over diversity. There's this obsession over identity, but groypers themselves have this obsession over identity as well. So yeah, I think there are some okay things that Mr. Fuentes says, but not all of them are okay, right? It's as I said, Broken Clock can be right 2 times a day. So yeah. All right. In terms of the, there's 2 more schizophrenic people. In terms of in terms of the difference between the online world and the real world, I think no other person exemplifies this better other than the author of Rent a Girlfriend. So the reason why I wanted to bring this up was because Aaron Yumi, great guy. Nakano City in Nagano Prefecture, the hometown of Rent a Girlfriend author Reiji Miyajima, has begun its collab with the anime series today, with Mayor Takehide Yumoto presenting life-size stands of heroine Chizuru Mizuhara. And look, and that cute. Do you need some? Let's give you some context. Reiji Miyajima is kind of insane on Twitter. How insane? This is how insane he is. Which is, he draws his characters, he takes pictures in real life, and then he draws his characters in the real world. I didn't want to see what some of his what this actually translates to. So we're gonna see my first-hand reaction to what this actually translates to. Trick or treat. Okay, that's pretty normal. Oh no. Note this guy's married as well. I'm pretty sure Reiji Miyajima actually is married and has children. So just be aware of that. Just from this image. Insane person? Question mark. Welcome, Zakdan. Welcome to the stream. There will be various announcements in July, so please follow us. Okay, this is pretty normal. Next one. Oh no. Oh no. I have no idea what the wife thinks, actually. So Okay. Oh no. What's this? I hope it's normal. Shall I go to bed soon? It's yeah. Yeah. Um oh no. Oh dear. Starbucks now. All right, that's pretty normal. I couldn't find there's actually a image of it's Chizuru, but he's made it so that so it's an image of her getting out of the shower. I can't remember what the caption is, and I wish I could find it, but I didn't want to delve in too deeply. Um, oh no, you're going on a train ride, are you, Reiji? Summer memories. Oh my god, it's just in fairness, most weebs have photoshopped their waifu into real life at some point. But I think that's normal, right? Because I don't have a girlfriend, right? Most weebs don't have a girlfriend. And I think it's, when a weeb at 20 does it, it's cute, right? It's like it's for a meme, right? I think it's acceptable for someone who's like 20, 25 to like Photoshop their waifu IRL. Or like the reason why I think that's normal mainly is because it's as a celebration of beauty. Is like I actually like this character, or I shouldn't say I like this character. It does get very very weird very quickly, so I should say that. So if you do have a waifu, it should like my waifu's bocce, right? But it's not to the point like oh, I am romantically interested in this character. I just think waifu, for me, a waifu, it's acceptable to have a waifu to the point like this is my favorite character and I do like it and I do have figures of them or whatever. The line that you cross is like I am romantically interested in this character, and that is like no, absolutely not, right? Or this anime girl is my wife. That would be the line that you shouldn't cross, right? The reason why these arms look long, I think that's just perspective, and in this one, that was I guess so, but I think that's just the perspective making it look a bit long. That's all. Nah, bro, you're on your own in this one. I don't know if it's normal. Yeah, I'm on my own for this one, aren't I? Um, the I think it's like it's okay to have like a favorite character, right? Or I think that's perfectly fine, right? That as long as you're not like romantically interested in them, that's acceptable to me. The reason why I think it's a bit worrying for Reiji is because this is his character that he has drawn. For an author, the whole theme of this podcast has been all about telling the difference between the digital, the online world, and what is real. For an author of this stature, like for an author to then say my characters are real and definitely talking to me, and I'm having experiences with my characters, I think that's kind of why we're saying it's kind of like it's this man's crazy. So that's why we're covering this. So deeply troubled man. He could just be trolling, and like that's perfectly fine. He might not actually be insane, and he's just trolling, and I hope so. But last one we'll cover. This one's actually really cute. I really like this one. Very very cute stuff. What's the translation for this? Kanager, the third season will air tomorrow. Yeah. Yeah. What a lucky guy. What a lucky guy. If I haven't already made my my positions clear on Rent a Girlfriend, I think it's a garbage anime. I don't really like it. Yeah, when it's your own character, it is kind of weird for it to be your, yeah. To be fair, he could be trolling, especially since his manga is interesting. Yeah, you can say that. I genuinely hate Rent a Girlfriend with a passion, and I wish that it hadn't had that. I wish that it hadn't had a third season. So yeah, hold up. So he drew his perfect girl and fell in love with him, also while having a wife. Yeah, insane. Maybe his wife is actually Chizuru. That could be the ultimate troll, right? His wife is generally Chizuru, or looks like Chizuru anyway. I will be blowing my nose. Give me a second. I hath returned. I hath returned from whence I came. Okay. This is the last Twitter thing we're looking at today. Hello, Mr. Podcast. We be doing math. I should watch Bunny Girl. Bunny Girl Senpai. Yeah. No, I'm back. If the name implies fan service, then I typically avoid the anime, although there are exceptions, such as Bunny Girl Senpai. Yeah, that's the ultimate exception. It's not uncommon for mangakas to draw female characters based off their own wives. Yeah, you know what? Like, that's the... I hope that's the good ending. All right, the good ending is that's actually his wife. Or what his wife looks like. So, yeah. All right. I just want to cover this clip because it was interesting. It brought me. So, I can't remember what the name of the actor is, but Dwight Schrute is the character he plays. I can't remember the name of the actor. Wait, no. Let's be professional and actually look at his name. Schrute, actor. Rainn Wilson. Rainn Wilson is the guy. I actually looked at some of the comments of this. I think what Dwight is saying perfectly captures why Christianity is always just going to succeed and always going to continue. My main reason why is because most atheists will say, like, I saw an article just this morning that talked about like the rise of modern witchcraft in Australia. And that kind of shows that atheism doesn't provide any story. Humans always want a meta-narrative. Humans always want a narrative that they can follow, that they can apply to their lives. There will be exceptions. And that's why there's always going to be atheists. There's always going to be, and the only reason why atheists, the only way that atheism can prosper, the only way that atheism can propagate is through stories and narratives. And that's why they have narratives like, we're secular, or like, oh, we are the most enlightened people across planet Earth, because that's what we are. And if you want to join us enlightened people, you should join us. You should join us atheists. However, there's that atheist nihilism, which is like there will be some people who can't accept that, who must accept that there must be a God out there somewhere. And Rainn Wilson, I absolutely love this clip from the interview, and you can just read through the comments of the original video by Alex O'Connor. Let's watch this together because it's just incredibly based the way he describes it.
Why are you not an atheist?
I tried being an atheist. Like I said, I went through a lot of shit and had a hard time and felt a lot
profanity warning. My bad.
of anguish, and it wasn't working for me. And that
he's saying, I tried to be an atheist. It shows, like, and some of the replies in the comments are like, oh, you don't try to be an atheist, you just are an atheist. But that goes to the fact that atheism itself has to provide a narrative, has to provide a story. Any worldview has to provide a narrative, has to provide a story. Atheism is just the same as Christianity, just the same as Islam, just the same as Buddhism, just the same as secularism or any other political ideology. It's just the same as communism. It's just the same as socialism or capitalism. Each of these things provide a story. Yeah, atheism is basically you are your own story, and I don't think that works, right? And it shows that, like, because a lot of people, when they try the individualistic route, they genuinely cannot comprehend it. I also tried, couldn't do it. It got dark real quick. Yeah, you try atheism because you try the story, you don't like the story, you don't, and I'm sure there are some people who do like the story, and good for you. But in terms of the story of Christianity, it's so much better, because what's the story of Christianity, right? We are all broken people. The world is broken. However, there's a solution. That solution is Jesus, the perfect man who is God in the flesh, came, died for your sins, resurrected after 3 days. Now we get to do amazing things because Christ lives in us, right? So that's why there's that. As my dad says, good minus God equals zero. For real, for real.
Might sound like a cop-out, but that's just my experience. But ideologically, to me, essentially, there was something that just didn't make sense about it.
And that's amazing. That's absolutely amazing, and it's so good to have these stories come out, because then the atheist will say, "Oh no, atheism makes perfect sense," and you're just not as enlightened as all of us, very enlightened, very smart atheists. And Dwight Schrute, Rainn Wilson, completely 180s that. Took a sip of agnosticism, but my heart knew it yearned for Christ. I felt during my reversion, I took a 180 turn. True. I want to be very, I want to be super, transparent with you guys. Sadly, Rainn Wilson is not Christian. He's Baha'i. Yeah, it's unfortunate, but I think that it shows it. I hope one day Rainn Wilson will eventually become a Christian. But that his experience, there's a need still for spirituality, which as long as it's I shouldn't say as long as it's anti-atheist. It's his kind of story is an anti-atheist story. So there you go. Which is why, as long as we counter the only way we can counter atheist narratives is to provide our own narratives, is to provide our own experience of our and to create narratives which counter atheist narratives. So I think the narrative that Rainn Wilson is providing here is like it's cringe that he's Baha'i, but it's good that he's still got that narrative that he's pushing, right? Time to search what that is. Just about every philosophy believes it is right, but atheism has a strain of people that believe they are more intelligent than anyone else. And of course, like, Christians have the same, right? It's like that's why we have Presbyterians. That's a joke to our Presbyterian friends, by the way. Baha'i sounds like French deism. Cool stuff. I'm sorry. I wanted to say this. I want to be super transparent with you guys. My past week has not been great, because I think I was like, hey God, I kind of want to break, and I kind of want to walk away from you for a bit. And then that's the view. This is why I'm Calvinist, right? It's because I think God has a way of bringing you back even though you want to walk away from it. And for me, that's why it's so, even like, it made sense in my head. I was like, okay, I'm gonna walk away from God for a bit, and then hopefully I'll come back. And then God has a way of still bringing you back, even though you have the intent. Like, I still sinned, right? It was a terrible week. I was unhappy for a bit, and then God brings me back, and there's the joy of, and like God just brought me back. Like, there's no other way to explain it. So I think that's the thing that got, yeah, sorry that your week has been rough. It's not rough in the sense that I had a lot of work to do, or I had a bunch of other things to do. It's just that the struggle with sin, I just gave into sin. That's the best way I could describe it. So yeah, but God has a way of bringing you back. Sunday always comes around, and ultimately you have no other choice but to fall back into the arms of Christ, who always has his arms wide open, who always accepts you in. And because I'm Calvinist as well, like, he's never gonna let me go either. So yeah, that's the comfort that I have. So anyway, that's kind of, I think for a lot of people who have like who have a need for spirituality, they'll, I think if God wills it, they will come to Christ. So yeah.
It just, as try as I might, and I tried for years to just embrace the fact that there was just stuff. There's just stuff. There's 11 billion years ago, there was something that's smaller than the head of a pin, and then there's a universe, and there's, billions of galaxies.
All right, so when he says this, there's a lot of the comments on Alex O'Connor's video are coping and sealing, so there's that. Dang, dude, you gotta just hold tight to God, especially these days. Yeah, especially in December. Oh my goodness. And December is like it should be the perfect time of year where you're holding on to Christ as much as possible. So yeah, you just gotta suck it up, hey.
And there's physical laws, and there's chemistry, and then for some reason, creatures are born out of chemistry, and chemistry becomes biology. no one knows why. It's just like, oh, it maybe came from an asteroid or lightning hit the ocean and created paramecium.
I love what Rainn Wilson is talking, because this sort of stuff triggers atheists so much. The classic, wait, hold on, the universe started. What did that? Yes, and I think like anyone can comprehend it very easily, and atheists have to create a story or have to create a narrative which fully satisfies someone. Again, I think. Sorry, I'm talking in very postmodern terms here, because I think when people talk about truth, people care about truth, and we as Christians should care about truth. But the society that we live in today is a very postmodern one, in which narratives, not stories, not things that are actually true, narratives and stories are what reign in our society today. Atheists have to create a narrative or a story that satisfies someone emotionally. And that is why they can never do it. And that's fine for some people, because they have created a narrative in their head that this is definitely true, and what is true will satisfy me, and what being nihilistic is what will satisfy me, and that's perfectly fine, right? But I think for a lot of people, they can't accept that story, and that narrative doesn't satisfy them enough. The spiritual narratives or the Christian narrative is way more satisfying and provides way more meaning in that sense. Let's continue.
It's like, okay.
Sure.
And try as I might at that time, in my early mid-20s, I just couldn't, it just didn't make sense to me. And I don't even mean like philosophically. I mean like just on a grokking emotional level. And
pardon me, sorry, I just I felt the sneeze coming on. But you can see here, right? It's that the atheist narrative didn't satisfy him enough. The atheist narrative didn't provide enough emotional, didn't provide that emotional satisfaction. When people try to say science has disproven God, I always say that he created science and therefore is above it. And that's, so this is my Christian face, right? Yeah, Christianity says this is true. We should endeavor to know what is true, and that is true. That is definitely true. Let's put my postmodern, my meta-modernist face on. Yeah, that's an amazing story. That's a way better story than what the atheist story is, right? Which is like, science has disproven God. You get to be God now. That's a terrible story, right? What's the Christian story? Everything from all things come from God. Therefore, we should just like, and the Christian story is way better in that sense. All things come from God. All things are to worship God. We have a purpose. Science has a purpose. Science has a meaning. We get to do it. Unfortunately, we cannot know everything. Stories help us focus on the information that we should know, which is why the stories we hear and tell should be true. Yes, that's true. That's true. I agree with that. Like, for example, like the Bible. The Bible is a story. Is a story that's good. And coincidentally, if we then put on the Christian worldview, the Bible is a story which is also true. So yeah, been a while since I heard the talk on explanatory value. Question mark. But yeah, so putting on my postmodern mask again. Let's put on my postmodern self. The postmodern me would say, yeah, the Bible is a story. The Bible is a narrative. And then I would say the postmodern self would say, yeah, it might not be true. It might just be a narrative. It might just be a story. But the story is good and provides good. And therefore, we should still follow the Christian story, even if it's not true. So that's it. We're all made of stardust. Yeah, it's a terrible story. That's a terrible line from Neil deGrasse Tyson. Like, that's a... Who wants to be stardust? Don't you want to be the son of God, right? Don't you want to be heirs with Christ? Don't you want to be co-heirs with Christ, right? Don't you want to be a child of God, right? That's a story which is way better than we're all made of stardust. So yeah, that's also true as well, which is like atheism was like, oh, we're science and reason, but they also believe in transvestites. So yeah.
As I thought about my life, as I
explanatory value is just a fancy word for just what narrative explains the most things. That's what you're talking about. I had never experienced. I've never. Hey, give me a second. I wanna search this out. Maybe this is that a explanatory value? In philosophy. Okay. Yeah, my bad. I've just so you're aware, so my degree involves me really swimming in a lot of postmodern stuff. So I'm quite postmodern minded, unfortunately. So that's so explanatory value. I haven't delved too much. Like my philosophy mind is very, very basic. So that's why it's mostly postmodernism and metamodernism that I'm swimming in usually. So that's kind of my perspective on it.
And I was thinking about the mystery and magnificence and beauty of consciousness itself. Of, you know, we talked about music concerts, and we talk about like falling in love. I remember holding my son when he almost died in childbirth at 4 a.m. at a shitty hospital in the middle of Van Nuys, California, you know, in the hallway with, you know, my wife bleeding from her vagina and
I will say, because there's a Ion her, what's the other person? Alex O'Connor, or who's the other person Alex O'Connor interviewed? But what Mr. Wilson here is saying is just so true. Ayan Hirsi Ali, that's the person I'm looking for. So yeah, very cool stuff. I think Ayan Hirsi Ali also talks about that. That's her whole thing, which is it's the Christian narrative is better, which is why it's it's good. Of course, it's not sufficient, right? We do want to see what is true and what is, but Ayan Hirsi Ali's perspective is also that it's way more than just it's a cool story. It's also true emotionally for me.
Holding this miraculous birth and this doctor that saved my son's life, and looking into his eyes and the profundity of that experience, and my job as an artist, as an actor, to create characters, to take like, oh, these little pigeon scratches on a page and decipher that and make that into a character that people respond to. And not just Dwight, but dozens of characters I played before Dwight and after Dwight. And the mystery and miracle of art itself, of making something kind of beautiful and profound, of having these emotions, and the totality of the experience of being a human being. Again, as David Bentley Hart talks about, the experience of God. It just didn't make sense to me that stuff just exists and then spins around.
And again, some of the comments in the original video are like, "Oh, well, it made perfect sense to me." it's just, I think again, there are certain people who will always be atheists, and we're not trying to convince them, right? I think as much as we want to be praying for them, as much as we do want to convince them. If they are so deeply entrenched in their atheist values, then you're not going to change their mind anytime soon, unless genuinely, in my opinion, it's only God who can change their heart. As this is my like Calvinist brain talking right now. So, but there are always gonna, and I've met so many people, right? There's so many people who just who are lost, who do want purpose, who do want meaning. Those are the people who we're meant to be talking to. We're not meant to be talking about like the deeply entrenched atheists who are like, oh well, I think that's just fine for you. But atheism is perfectly fine for me. Like that's you're not gonna convince them. So yeah, the fellows who are too hard of heart, yeah, only God can change that. He's right. God has embedded appreciation for goodness, beauty, and truth in everyone. Yeah, it makes sense to me. Under what basis, though? Yeah, but that's the thing, right? It's the atheist contradiction. They're so entrenched in their narrative. They're so entrenched in their story that they're not really open to anything else.
And then humans are, there's little guppies, and then there's lizards, and then there's beavers, and then there's dinosaurs, and then there's, orangutans, and then there's humans. And here we are recording a podcast and having this kind of conversation at this level, and that it just has an essential meaninglessness to it as I experienced it.
Yeah, there you go. So like, perfect, great guy. What a great guy. I think that's good stuff. Yeah, good stuff to be talking about. So yeah, I think it was really good. Just that clip of it, I really enjoyed it. Because of course it triggers the atheists. All right. So, as there's 2 more sections I want to go through. I want to talk about anime, actually. We cannot save people. We can talk to people and try to convince them and pray that the Holy Spirit will work in their hearts. Only Christ can save. For real. It's not of our own effort. It's only Christ. We only do the gardening. That's a Greg Kokel line. We're gardeners. We're gardeners in a gardening land. So yeah. I want to talk about some anime. So obviously, I did finish Lane. So as I said, go watch the video. If you haven't watched it yet, I really enjoyed it. I did enjoy Lane. It was insane, but I loved it. I adore it. In terms of let's provide 2 updates. I watched the recent Kimi wa Medo Sama episode. So is that episode 10? It would be episode 10. Yes, there was an episode 10. Yeah, I'm sticking with the 6 because it is very slice of lifey. It's not the most amazing thing. It's very cute. So I can't complain much about it. It's a very, very cute anime. So but does it deserve a 7? I don't think it deserves a 7 right now. And considering it's episode 10, we've got 2 episodes left. This is definitely going to get a second season. I can't quite. Yeah, I don't really have a feeling about where it's going to go. So I don't think the finale is going to be super special. So it could get a second season. Is this a popular anime? Ranked 3, sorry, popularity 2000. It might get a. Is this the anime where Truck-kun lost? Yeah. Oh, by the way, how do you feel about talking about the talk surrounding credit companies forcing the anime/manga industry to censor their works? I think it's like censorship is always bad, but ultimately the censorship that is happening is good. So that I think I discussed this like a few streams ago. Was it in? I can't remember. Oh yeah, the maid anime is good. Unfortunately, it hasn't gotten to the romance segment yet. Yeah, this first season's really slow, and it's the same joke over and over again. So I hope that it's still very cute. Like I enjoy it because I love maids. And I love she's my favorite. The maid Osama, Yuki is a great character. So there's that. Coming back to censorship of manga. From an atheist perspective, right? From a libertarian perspective, we say, "Oh yeah, it's bad to censor manga and things like." But I think the censorship that is happening with manga and anime is it's an appropriate censorship because, of course, I think fan service. Some people argue that fan service is an integral part of anime. It's not. It's a unique part of anime. It's one of the annoying parts of anime that I dislike. Just like for any other movie, like any other Hollywood movie, where it's very cringe that there's always a sex scene, but it's not an integral part of a movie. It is completely unnecessary. That's why I think for censorship of manga and anime, especially in terms of it, only on sexual stuff, like for any other things, like if it's just conservative values, that sucks. I don't agree with censorship of that. But in terms of censorship of a fan service, I'm not too bothered. I do generally welcome that sort of stuff. I'm in a drought of Oshinoko, so I'm stuffing my face with animes that won't make me cry. Kimi wa Medo-sama will certainly won't. In terms of Sumo, it's interesting. Like I might bump this up to a fine because there's some interesting stuff happening in these last few episodes. This girl, Mai Nijima, this girl doesn't want to let go of her mom. So she lives in she lives in delusion/fairy tale land that mom's always gonna stay forever, and we're always gonna have a family with this elementary schooler. So yeah, that's the that's the I'm interested where this is going. So I have bumped it up to a 6 because it's about the same level as Kimi wa Maid Sama. So there you go, there you go. All right, final thing for today. I'm making an appeal. I am making an appeal to you. So this artist here, Yuki Yuki, I think that's her. Anyway, she's can we move you? Give me a second. I'm gonna try. There we go. I want to commission something off of her because it's on because Celeste recommended me do this. I'd love to commission something off of her. So this is an appeal to the Christian anime peeps. If you are able to, yeah, if you wanna support this channel so that I can commission something off of her, which I would absolutely love to. I can't afford it right now because unfortunately I spent some money on anime figures, so I can't really spend a lot of money on commissioning artwork. But if you do want to be a member of this channel, please do. The more of you who become members, the more I'm able to like actually spend money on getting emojis and for that rank. And obviously the more I can get art for this channel as well. So please do support the channel through super chats. I'm not gonna get a coffee. I'd prefer if you. The reason why is because I don't like begging for money. So I know coffees. I want to be able to provide value through this, right? Which is like, if you want to super chat, feel free to. If you want to be a member, feel free to. If you want to do a super thanks, feel free to. But I don't like begging for money through other super chats. To me isn't like begging. Coffee. I totally respect people who ask for donations. Same with PayPal. If they open it up, I totally respect people who go through PayPal, and that's perfectly fine. But yeah, I don't like begging. You don't like begging for money, DSV -5 friendship points, for real. So yeah, anyway, I just wanted to, this is an appeal for you. So if you do want to support the channel, I really do want to commission something off of this person. So very cute art style, and the art she did for Celeste is also very cool stuff. All right, that's it for today. That's the longest I've gone on stream without stream actually dying. So thank you very much for all of you for coming on. Hopefully tomorrow is karaoke. Wait, tell us about the karaoke stuff. So I'm kind of actually, yeah, let me explain karaoke for tomorrow so that we're not doing it. So I do want to do karaoke because a bunch of you have been like, oh wow, podcast on, your singing voice is really cool. So I do want to sing for you guys. It's we're just gonna chill, we're just gonna chat about stuff, so it's not gonna be super serious. So karaoke stream tomorrow morning, 9 a.m. Australian Western Standard Time, and what's that in American time? That'll be 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time and 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Can't make it if I got photography stuff. Too bad. It'll be your true VTuber initiation stream. Yeah, my true VTuber debut. So I'm pretty chuffed with that. So if you are able to join, please join. Please come. I would like you. I'd be happy to sing for you. I won't take requests because I only know very little songs. So there you go. All right. For the rest of you, I work closing 4 nights a week, including Monday. It's so over. Gregory's not going to be able to join us. I guess then watch the archive, watch the stream archive if you want to. Please do. With that, I hope you have a blessed rest of your evening. For our American friends, for everyone on this side of the Pacific, have a good rest of your morning.
And I will see you all tomorrow for those of you joining. We Filipinos love karaoke. For real, for real. That's true. That's true. I will see you again. I'll see you again tomorrow for those of you joining. See ya.